Welcome back to the Post Up Podcast.
You gotta do the answer.
What?
Gotta do the answer.
Yeah, the
Up
answer.
in here.
Welcome back, episode 22. I don't know why I'm shouting. Yeah, we're back. More basketball has happened for this lovely infrequent schedule that we've got going. Thanks, University, for giving me an infrequent schedule. Basketball. Woo! What's it like being a basketball fan, Owen? But specifically for a Philadelphia 76ers team.
Shit. Oh.
Why, you can't say that. The kids
Oh,
are watching. Oh, it's the Christian server. You've ruined my Minecraft server.
It's over, we're getting cancelled. It's not very good. Yeah, this week it's been pretty good for us.
Is it?
We've won 3 games.
Oh.
We haven't played good teams apart from one, but a winning is a good start because we haven't been winning too much. We can't score. Against the Knicks, only being able to score 90 points.
That's
weird.
embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. It took a Toby game winner to win.
Nobody should get that close to the Knicks.
Yeah, but we're special, you see. We're very special.
I can tell.
The Bulls, we just did what we did. The Nets was a close one. That shouldn't have been close. It was only close because Kyrie didn't play.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
You got unlucky there.
Yeah.
After the first game, you was like, I'm not playing him again.
Exactly. When I saw that tweet, Kyrie's not playing, I was like, oh no, they're going to have a chance to win now. And they almost did win. And then we played the Raptors. I didn't want to watch the game because I knew we were going to lose. So I just went to bed instead. And we lost.
I mean, yeah, smart.
Can we just talk about Brett Brown and the lineup he trotted out to start the fourth quarter of a close game against one of the best teams in the league? The reigning champions, no less.
I think he knew you were going to lose, so he thought, just put the kids out.
Howell Neto,
Good
point
player.
guard. Shake Milton, he hasn't been playing for us for at least 20 games. Furkan Korkmaz, fair enough, he's been our best player. Mike Scott, who's been one of our worst players this season.
Mike Shooter Scott, good man.
And Novell Pell. You can't be trotting out that lineup.
He's about 7'12" though, isn't he? So.
He's like 6'10".
Oh, is he? I thought he was really big.
Nah, he can just block everything, but like that sort of lineup should never see the floor.
Do you know what team the Raptors came out with?
Probably, well, they've got all good players.
No, yeah, so it didn't matter.
I didn't watch the game, so I can't comment.
True.
Yeah, I just saw on Twitter.
you were in bed because nobody wants to watch.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Anybody want to watch getting battered by the Raptors?
Ben Simmons though, since Embiid has been out, what a player! He's like, it's sort of unlocked him because he's been taking control. His game against the Nets was insane, but yeah, more on that later when we do a team of the week.
Ooh, that's a spoiler. You've ruined the whole format. Nobody needs to watch the end now.
I mean, they've only torn 1 out of the 10 players. Gotta give them a little teaser.
Alright. So, are you still on the... Well, you've been on and off the bandwagon for Embiid out. Are you Embiid out or Embiid in?
No, I'm only on the bandwagon if we have to move one of them. In an ideal world, I want to keep them both and win a championship. But if we had to move one, it would still be Embiid.
You do your first. Embiid out. Owen is fully on the bandwagon for Embiid out.
Whoa. Only if we have to.
You have to. Embiid out.
Please don't go. Why can't we all just be happy and just play well together?
That's not basketball.
Just take me back to the process days.
No. Talking about some sort of process, which isn't being a process because we're making the playoffs. What a lovely week it's been being an Oklahoma City fan. What? Yeah. Miami come around, we lose. Never mind. Yeah, I like Miami. They can do what they want. Dame come around with his friends, and push them to the side. I mean, we almost beat them. We beat them by 13. Easy game. Houston come around. Westbrook back. I mean, we were in Houston, so we went back to Houston and beat Houston easily. I mean, easily. It did
only 5 points.
It did take a 17-point comeback in the second half and a 41-point fourth quarter. I mean, clutch Paul Latter again, but that leaves the season series 2-1 to OKC against Houston. So Russ shouldn't have left, but thanks for leaving, Russ. We're a much better team. And then we swept Orlando in the season series and beat them by 6.
Quick math.
I had to use my fingers for that one. That was embarrassing. But yeah, it's been a really good week. I've watched 2 games in a row, which which is a surprise for me. I usually don't watch that many games because I like to sleep. But 2 games in a row, Houston was on early, which was nice, and it was amazing to watch us destroy a team which I hate the most in the NBA. And I feel like I'm going to go on a bit of a rant now, because Houston are rubbish, James Harden's overrated, and Clint Capella's a donkey. Can I say that? Can I call him a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You call football players donkeys.
Yeah, Clint Capella's a donkey. So, the beginning of the game, in the opening 2 minutes, Clint Capella ignores the whole grabbing rebounds and just jumps on the back of Steven Adams, absolutely clattering him, and Adams missed the rest of the game. That was bad. At that point, I thought, that's game over, since Nerlens Noel was injured, so our backup centre was Mike Scott. No. Right.
I mean, you can have him. You can have him before.
Our backup centre was Mike Muscala.
Easily mistakable.
Similar players. All they do is shoot threes. So, I don't know if you've watched Mike Muscala play basketball before, but it's not a fun thing to do.
He played with the Sixers.
Exactly. I wasn't talking about you, I was talking about people.
It's not fun. I wouldn't recommend it.
No, yeah. So, having Mike Muscala trying to beat Clint Capella to rebounds doesn't work. So, we after Mike Muscala got 3 fouls in the first 5 minutes, I assume, it was very soon, we got rid of that whole, system and went small. A bit like the good Golden State team did when they went 72 games and when they won 72 games and they put Draymond Green at centre. We went small. But who did we put at centre? Deontay Burton.
And how did that work out?
Oh, the third quarter was bad.
Oh my god, 14 points.
Okay, yeah, so we started in the second half. I mean, we only got 14 points in the third quarter compared to their 23, but the fourth quarter, like I said, 41 points compared to Houston's 20. And, I mean, what more do you want? Mike Muscala put 1.3 rebounds, 2 blocks. Yeah, so Mike Muscala finished with 5 personal fouls, so obviously he didn't play many minutes. And it was a part in the very dominant fourth quarter we had, where Clint Capella was on the court, and I was thinking, wait, Mike Muscala's not playing. Who's playing centre? And I was like, that's probably Darius Bazley, isn't it? You'd assume that'd be the obvious go-to when you've run out of players, even though Justin Payton's on the bench, just not giving any minutes for some reason after he put up that incredible 45-point game with 20-odd rebounds.
Almost a quadruple double.
With 9 assists and 6 blocks, I think it was. In the G League, to be fair, though, so doesn't really mean much. But yeah, so he's not getting any minutes. But yeah, only the little 6'8" Dion. No, he's not 6'8".
He's not that tall. He's 6'5", maybe.
6'6". We'll give him 6'6". 6'6" with heels on. He was marking Clint Capella, and I thought, after our 14-point third quarter, we're probably just going to get battered here. Well, no. Deontay Burton won the rebound, and we put up 40 points in the fourth quarter.
He's 6'4".
6'4". I mean, how tall's Clint Capella?
6'11", maybe.
Embarrassing. So yeah, Clint Capella's a donkey. I don't understand how this man is rated by the Houston fans. I see Houston fans saying he's a great centre. Oh, he scores. The only reason he scores is because Harden misses every 3-pointer he takes, and he just taps it back in. If I was 6'10", I would put up double doubles in that team.
Sure.
I would. Yeah. So Houston, easy game. Oh yeah, Harden. Let me get on to Harden. This is a mess of a start, but let me get on to Harden. So, I saw something on Twitter the other day saying, because obviously a lot of people suggest Harden's one of the greatest scorers of all time. I mean, Kobe's turning in his grave. Carmelo Anthony's a better scorer than James Harden.
No.
2-point he is. 2-point. If James Harden if there was no such thing as fouls in the NBA, James Harden would average 10 points a game.
No, you wouldn't. You just wouldn't.
James Harden went 1 for 17 from 3-point. And if we have a look at the worst 3-point percentages in NBA history, let's have a look. Let's take a pool of the worst 5, yeah? Let's have a look at that.
I'm assuming he's going to be
Shut
all
up,
5.
Shut up. Let's look at the worst 5. So this is the worst 3-point percentage of all time, 15 plus attempts. So Dennis Scott is there.
Yeah, from the 90s.
Yeah. He went 2 for 17 in 96. The other 4 are James Harden. Against OKC, he went 1 for 17, shot 5.9%. In in 13th of January last year, he went 1 for 17. In what's the 10th month?
October.
Yeah, in October 2019, he went 2 for 18, and in January again. No, not January. The November of 19, he went 2 for 16. He's not the best scorer of all time.
But that's just 4 games out of how many?
Yeah, but
he's always gonna have a bad day.
how many days did Kobe miss 10 shots? Go 1 for
in the history
17.
of the NBA, Kobe has missed the most shots.
Yeah, because he's played longer than Harden so far. And
But
Kobe, for most of his career, was the main scorer. Harden hasn't been the main scorer for the whole of his
has
career.
Kobe ever averaged 38 points per game?
No, but he doesn't shoot. He doesn't get 43 throws per game. He actually made his shots. Harden just goes, my hand, and then
Harden has those
makes the
games
2
where
easy shots.
where he shoots like 9 of 20 from 3. And it's mental. And so he's going to have like a bad game every now and again.
Yeah. Well, obviously he's a good player.
One
But
of the best in the league.
but he does miss a lot of shots.
Obviously, if you're going to shoot a lot, you're going to miss a lot.
And his beard's stupid.
I agree with that. And his hair. He's changed his hair now.
Russ is better.
It's not good.
Russ, like Tracy McGrady said, Russ is the best player at Houston.
Hell no.
I mean, he knows. He's a good player. He knows what he's talking about.
That was a guy who said Markel was going to be a star.
Well, he did get dropped by Dennis Schroeder
Yeah,
last
that's not a
night.
sign of a star.
No. We'll talk about Dennis Schroeder. Season high against Orlando, 31 points off the bench.
How long has this segment been on OKC?
It can go on for 10 more minutes if you want.
No, right.
I mean, Orlando, Orlando, I expected it to be a lot less scoring than it was in that game. Neither team wanted to defend, but we won, so shout out to Orlando. Thanks for the easy win. And we've got quite a favourable end to the month as well. Our next 5 games are all winnable. We got Dallas, but we beat Houston, we could beat Dallas. And when we're 1 win off Houston and Portland. I think we could not Portland, Houston and the Mavericks. I think we're going for the 4th seed, mate.
Yeah, with the Sixers, I think after this little stretch of games where we play the Lakers and the Nets and the Heat and the Bucks away, after we get through that, so like the next 2 weeks, from the start of February to the end of the season, we have the easiest schedule.
Well, that's what you need, really.
That's what we need. So hopefully that we can fly up the rankings. But then again, the Sixers have struggled beating the easy teams all season long. So
Yeah,
maybe it's not really a blessing.
If you catch some form, it'll be good for you in the playoffs.
Just hopefully Embiid sits for a couple more weeks.
And let's hope you don't get Toronto in the first round.
Or Orlando, or Miami.
Or anybody that can play basketball.
Just anyone, just give
Just
us Atlanta.
Bucks.
Give Atlanta.
Give us the Bucks.
Just let them get the 8th seed.
I'll give you the Bucks.
I'll have the Bucks.
Give us the Lakers or the Clippers so I can watch the game. Cheers, guys. So, moving on from the good teams in the NBA to the return of one very big man, Zion Williamson. He's returned. Zion's back, and he had a very good 4th quarter. It's fair to say. He might not have had an amazing game, but the 4th quarter,
he turned up when he had to.
17 points, 17 straight points in the 4th quarter, and not only that. I saw a lot of people talking about he broke Ben Simmons' 3-point record in 89 seconds. So who's the better first overall pick?
Stop.
Zion.
It was like quite hard to watch though. Like Ben hits how many 2 3-point shots in 3 seasons? Zion comes in and hits 4 of 4 from one game.
4 for 4.
Well,
He's obviously been warming up with Steph Curry.
22 points, 7 rebounds in 18 minutes. He did have 5 turnovers, but it was his first game in a while, so I mean it was a good start. Good starting point.
Yeah, it was good. He didn't look like he was big, fat and sluggish.
Yeah.
He looked like he belonged in the NBA, but obviously due to this good game, ESPN and they're out again, aren't they? And all they've been doing is posting pictures and things on Instagram and Twitter about Zion. It's Zion season, and calm down, everybody. He's just Julius Randle. That's all he is. He's a bigger Julius Randle.
A bit more athletic, but yeah, he's the same type of player.
They're both
He's
left-handed.
not LeBron.
No, he's not
He's
LeBron.
not LeBron.
He's not LeBron. So everybody calm down. If he doesn't miss a 3-point shot for the rest of the season, then fair enough. Let's talk about him as one of the greats. But he'll definitely miss one in his next game. But, they won the game.
No, the Pelicans lost.
Did they?
Yeah, they lost.
Ah.
Cause
He's trash then, isn't
they
he?
didn't play Zion in the last 5 minutes.
Ah.
They
He's trash then. Big up
Yeah.
Marcus Aldridge. He's the good player. He's the man we should be talking about. Oh yeah, why do I think they won for? I checked this
don't know.
morning.
They lost by like 5.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, Zion's back. Will he win Rookie of the Year? No.
Nah, Josh got that locked up.
Ja Morant's pretty good at basketball.
And Nikhil Alexander-Walker, can't forget them. He's a favourite in my books.
We've definitely forgotten. I think the Pelicans coaching staff have forgotten about
I think
him.
they have forgot about him.
Yeah. Now, not much except Zion coming back, but that was like last night or a couple nights back when people will be listening to this. Not much has happened. So, we thought we'll just roast and big up a lot of players. So we've got a list of overrated players, well, we believe they're overrated, underrated, and disappointing players this season. So, let's go through them! Oi! Overrated players. Okay, you put this name in, so you can talk about him. You went for Devontae Graham. Interesting.
Yeah, so basically, he is improved to an extent because he's putting up points because he's had the opportunity to put up points. But the way people talk about him as the most improved player in the league is, it's gotten to the point where you are overrating him. He's not that good. He's just a bad player who's been given the opportunity to shoot a lot. He's putting up 18 points per game, but look at his efficiency. He's not even shooting 40%, which is, for like a starting level guard,
Embarrassing.
it is maybe not embarrassing, but it's just not very good. And the way people are talking about him, you'd think he's at an all-star level where he's nowhere near that. You might not even be the best point guard on this team. So,
You think Terry Rozier is better than him?
yeah.
Definitely not.
I don't know. He's just not as good as most people are like trying to portray him to be.
No, I get where you're coming from, but he definitely has improved a lot since his last game.
Since his last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was
Last game.
reading Twitter. Yeah, he's improved so much since this last season, so it's fair that people are putting him in the most improved player category.
But I think it's got to the point where they're overrating him now.
So I'd probably agree that he is being overrated, but not as much as other players on this list.
Yeah.
Whereas like he is overrated, but he's still good. It's not like he's overrated, but he's a bad player. He's overrated, but he's still doing. It's like Zion and the media.
Yeah.
They saying he's LeBron. He's just a good player. Devontae Graham, they're saying he is like the most improved player. He's just doing well.
Put him on the Lakers and he averages 7 points per game.
I mean, so does Kyle Kuzma. Another player that you put on the list. I mean, I didn't put a single player on this overrated
you didn't
list.
get any
No.
overrated players.
No.
Marvin Bagley. He's been so poor. I never understood why the Kings took him second overall when they could have had Trae Young or Luka Doncic. They had their pick apart from DeAndre Ayton, and they chose Bagley, which is baffling because he's a centre who can't defend, can't rebound, can't score inside, and he can't shoot. So when he came into the season with an injury, it already started on a bad note, and now he's averaging less points than last season, at 14 points per game. And when you watch him play, he just has nothing. Do you know what I mean? Where he just doesn't.
I mean, no, I've not watched many Sacramento games.
I don't blame you, to be honest.
But I get where you're coming from.
Like what does he do? Like nothing.
He made a good diss track to Dame in the summer.
But then he got roasted by Dame.
He did, but I preferred Bagley's diss track to Dame's. That's just musical preference.
Yeah.
But I get where you're coming from. For the third overall pick, he's looking a bit of a second overall pick. He's looking a bit of a excuse. I was gonna say he's looking a bit like a bender, but not as in. I mean, like
a dragon bender.
Dragon bender.
I wouldn't go that bad, but I mean, that's a wild statement.
Yeah, no. Out of context, that's bad. But if you know what I'm talking about, he looks like Dragon Bender, not yeah.
No, I think like Dragon Bender is completely out of his depth in the NBA. Where I think Bagley can be a backup center one day, but like he's just so poor. He's just a bad player.
Yes, maybe stick to the music, Bagley.
Yeah.
Let's hope his little brothers can be a bit better.
Yeah, I'm not holding on much hope.
No.
No. His name is Marcus. What basketball player called Marcus is good?
Smart.
I said good.
DeMarcus Cousins.
No, that's close enough.
He's really good. He was really
He
good.
was really good. Kings as well.
Lamarcus Aldridge.
You're stretching, but no, I'll give it to you.
Thank you. Laurie Marcus and then. No, he's pretty bad. He might be on one of these lists. Yeah, no, they're right. I wasn't going to make a joke about lists. Bradley Beal you've also put on here.
Yeah, basically, it's for his shooting, because he's always been known as, since his third season, he's been known as an elite 3-level scorer, and this season he's shooting 31% from 3.
He shoots threes, does he?
He shoots a heck of a lot of threes, and he misses so many.
Threes against the Thunder at Christmas time.
But on the Wizards team, there's no one on that team, so I kind of expected him to average over 30, or just be the main scorer, break so many scoring records, and he is averaging 27 points, but when you look at his plus minus, he's always the reason they lose, because he's either ball hogging like Russ did, or that was someone I didn't need to take that shot at Russ.
I feel like every episode you kind of just throw in a dig at Russ every time. I'm gonna put my Russ jersey
He deserves it, but yeah, anyway, Beal,
MVP.
I think the Wizards would be better off trading him for just a bunch of assets.
Yeah. Would you like Deontay Burton? Yeah, that's all I've got. Do you want Deontay Burton for Bradley Beal? You'll put up 27 points for you if you want.
Do you want to chuck in Muscala?
Oh yeah, you can have Mike as well. Have Mike and Peyton together. They could put up 27 points a game.
In the G League, maybe.
Yeah. Deal. Thanks, Washington. I can't wait for you to deliver Beal to us. Yeah, I would agree. I don't see many people these days bigging him up that much, because obviously Washington have won about 3 games. I don't know how much.
They've won a fair.
Yeah, 3 games. And last time I watched Bradley Beal play, he airballed about 4 3-pointers. That was embarrassing. And that was all in the 4th quarter as well, where it mattered. So yeah, he's not as good as he can be, but he could definitely reach the levels if John Wall comes back and plays how John Wall used to play. But is John Wall going to come back and play like he used to play? I doubt it.
Well, he had the injury that ruined DeMarcus Cousins, so there's no way he's going to be the same level type of. In terms of athleticism, he's going to be nowhere near.
And DeMarcus Cousins, for me, is the saddest story in the NBA.
Yeah, it's just sad. He's just a little old man now, isn't he?
Yeah.
All shriveled up.
Remember that 55-point game? Oh. If anybody's ever sad, just watch DeMarcus Cousins highlights from back in the day, and you'll get even more sad.
That might make him more sad, because he's gone now.
If anybody's really happy and needs to be put down, show them some DeMarcus Cousins highlights and say, you'll never do this ever again. He doesn't even put up 10 points anymore.
I can feel it, he's going to be a 32-year-old, and he's going to have one of those throwback games where he drops 48 against the worst team in the league.
I hope so. Or he should go into being a police guard or something. He'd be pretty good at that. Like a prison officer.
He can't move anymore.
No, but he's just standing in the doorway and they're bouncing off him. Yeah, that's a possible career change for you, DeMarcus, if you're watching. Big fans. Got my thumbs up. Another player you've put all these players on the list, and your worst enemy, Kyrie Irving, obviously.
I don't think I need to say anything. Surely by now everyone realises how overrated he is. He puts up the points, but overall he has such a negative impact on the team. 'Cause after during the Philly and Brooklyn game where Kyrie didn't play, it was at the point in the game where their second-round rookie, Nicholas Claxton, came into the game and scored 15 points.
Great hair.
He almost died from trying to block Ben. Yeah, he landed on his head.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but it was a certain point in the game where they were beating us and they rattled off 15 straight points. And I tweeted saying, do we need any more proof that teams are better off without Kyrie?
He did tweet that. Follow us on Twitter at @postup_podcast.
Nice. But it's so true. 'Cause look at Boston. Whenever Kyrie wasn't playing, they were better off. They always play as more of a team. So Kyrie is so toxic. No one wants to play with him. No one likes him. And especially after the things he always says in the media, just get off the team, innit? Well, no, stay on Brooklyn. Please play every single game for him.
Build around Spencer Dinwiddie. Trade Kyrie. I can keep KD, I suppose. If he comes back pretty good, that'd be a nice partnership. Dinwiddie, LeVert, and KD.
Yeah, but
that'd be a good scoring 3.
KD went to the Nets because of Kyrie, so would he want out?
Yeah, probably. But yeah, Kyrie's a bit of a enigma, like you said last week.
Yeah.
A good word you used.
Just a bit weird, isn't he?
Yeah. Like, it's like the same with DeMarcus Cousins. Like, you remember the 33-point playoff game he had with LeBron James, where they both put up 33. You remember the highs of the 3-1 comeback in the Golden State
And that big
72
shot
games. Yeah.
to win.
You remember all these good things at Kyrie at the Cavs, and then
You didn't realise how good he had it.
yeah, then you look at Kyrie at the Celtics and how bad they were, and how good the Celtics are this season when they get a nice point guard like big man Kemba, and how good all young players are playing there. And then same things happened at Brooklyn, but he's just not playing because he's faking injuries. So yeah, probably the most overrated player in the NBA, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because some people still cling on to that Cleveland
And he's
hype.
got so many votes for the All-Star game, where
Yeah.
he missed like how long? A month of the season.
The hype that Kyrie gets was deserved when he was at Cleveland, but since then it shouldn't be anymore. Stop living in the past, says the guy that just went on about crying about DeMarcus Cousins being amazing in the past. Love it. It's fine. I'm aware of what I say. So, underrated players. I've actually put some players in this list. I'm gonna start with one of my boys, Goran Dragic. I said that right?
Yeah, you said that
I
right.
said it right.
Well done.
Big fan. I mean, I know I go on about Dennis Schroeder being the best point guard off the bench in the NBA, which he is, but
Well, second best.
to who?
Lou Will.
Shut up. He's not a point guard.
He's a guard.
He's a shooting
You
guard.
said a guard.
I said point guard. Well, second to Dennis, I'd probably put Goran Dragic, where Dennis is averaging like 17 points per game off the bench. Dragic doing 15, and nobody's really talking about it. He did miss a bit of a period with injury, but for he's like 31, and for a player off the bench, he shoots good percentages from 3-point. He's good passer. He's just a generally all-round good player.
And unlike Kyrie, he's a fantastic teammate because he was a starter on the Suns, got traded to Miami. He was a starter for so long, and then last season, halfway through, he accepted a role on the bench. And I think you've seen this season it's only helped the team because now coming off the bench, I got Dragic and Tyler Herro. That's not fair. Like those two could easily start on so many other teams in the league.
I don't want to say I did it first, but on 2K last year, I did it first. I played Dragic off the bench.
I also did it for my Sixers.
So, who's a better coach?
We are the pioneers.
Me or whoever's in charge at Miami?
Eric Spoelstra. You got to know who that is.
No, I don't. You just said Eric Sports Trader. I don't
Spoelstra.
I don't even know what that means. Is he managing basketballs? He's the wholesales for basketballs. It's not. Yeah, it's that man.
Yeah, good one.
I'm good.
That's a proper
I'm
news
fun.
slapper.
That's a news slapper. That's a funny one. Yeah. So, you put Alec Burks.
Yeah, so basically he was more or less out of the league because with the Jazz he was suffering bad injury after bad injury and just no one wanted to go near him. And obviously with the Warriors trying to tank, they thought, oh, let's just give him a chance. And all of a sudden he's averaging 16 points and he's become one of the biggest trade targets now coming up to the deadline.
All the contenders want him.
Yes. Well, you said contenders. I would like to throw the Sixers also want him.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Not contenders.
All the contenders and the Sixers want him.
All the playoff teams want him.
Yeah. I don't think we want him. We've got a pretty good squad.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a cheap contract and yet averages 16 points per game. That's an attractive option.
Yeah, good scorer on a bad team. Well, not bad. Well, they are a bad team. Not a bad
team.
franchise, though. I don't want to send too much hate towards Golden State. They'll win the championship next year.
What about this year?
I think they're just out of it. I think it's touch and go. There's a few games in it, but I think they're just out of the race. I don't know.
You might be right there.
Give it a few more games. But yeah, good player. Another player you put on there, Norman Powell. Now, before you go on about Norman Powell, I'll one-up you and say the whole Toronto team except Pascal Siakam.
Okay, why?
Because he's not underrated. He's really good and everybody knows it.
I think he's kind of underrated though because he's gone up to about 25 points per game and no one's talking about it.
Okay, so the whole Toronto team, including Mr. Nurse. He's not underrated. Everybody loves Mr. Nurse.
Norman Powell, who Basketball Reference says his nickname's Stormin' Norman.
Stormin' Norman. Not
Can't
the
go
best
wrong.
nickname in the NBA. Obviously, we all know about Tiny Dog.
But he's had such an average career for a bench player, averaging 5 points, then 8 points, back down to 5 points, back up to 8 points, and then this season averaging 16 points on amazing efficiency.
That's Where's Iwundu numbers.
What, the 15? Or
No, the 5.
Yeah.
He's actually averaging 4.8.
Why do you know that?
Because we played Orlando last night.
Such a rant.
He made a 3-pointer right at the start. And
That's his average.
Yeah, and then they put up. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. He put up a 3-pointer, then they flashed up saying he averages 4.8.
Yeah.
And then he had a 3-pointer. I was like, he'll missed. I was like, yeah, he's not gonna hit 2 because that's over his average. Then he had another 3-pointer. He missed. I was like, yeah. And he had another one. I was like, leave him open, boys. He's not making another one. And he only averaged 3 points. He only put 3 points up. So.
Anyway, back to Storm and Normal Powell.
Well, do you want to talk about what Zamondo? He's a good player. He was actually awful, not a good player.
Yeah, he's a good defender, but
not against SGA.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, continue about Mr. Norman.
If you want to see a good defender, look no further than a Norman Powell. He primarily comes off the bench for the Raptors, puts up big points, 51% from the field, 41% from 3. He's just a very good player. He's finally come into his own. What a player.
Is that it?
What a player.
What a player.
What a player. He's a great player.
Now, you said that's a good defensive player. I'll one-up you because has your defensive player kept James Harden to 1 of 17 of 3-point shots? Because Legret's Dort has, and that's my underrated player.
Did you see Harden against the Raptors?
No.
They bullied him.
Yeah, but he's no Legret's Dort. So, Dort played a career, in his first NBA start against Houston, played a career high, obviously, because it was his first start, of 32 minutes. And in those minutes, he kept James Harden to a 1 of 17. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but James Harden...
Was he guarding him every single possession? Or
well, when he was on the court, but Diallo picked up Harden when Dort was off the court, but he played 32 minutes.
Nice run. Dort off the court.
Thanks. Yeah, so when Dort was off the court, Diallo picked up Harden. But a lot of the times, it was good to watch. Every time Harden on the ball, Dort would get really tight to him, but not like I've seen other players do, and then just foul Harden. You'd be aggressive and tight, but let him shoot the 3. So like, he'd be tight, Harden would do a little move, then he would go close, but Harden would have the space to get the shot off without being fouled, and he would miss it because he was scared of big 6'2" tank of a man. Legret. He's like built like Zion, but he's really small.
Sure.
And what I love about Legret's Dort is I love Diallo as well. Both players are good defensively. Dort's a bit better, but on offense, like Diallo on a fast break would run too fast for his own good and wouldn't be able to get the ball up for the layup, and he would just kind of drop it and hit the backboard or something awful. But Dort seems to be a lot more controlled in his motions on offense. So I feel
he's a great athlete, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got all the keys.
He just can't score.
No. He put up 6 points the other. He's got all the keys to unlock the chest of a good NBA player.
Do you remember
No.
about November 2018, just after we started the journalism course, when I messaged you a video of Legret's Dort?
I do remember this.
I hope Philly draft him in the first round.
And then on the draft night, I said, wasn't this that guy you wanted?
Yeah.
Because we picked him up.
We
picked him up after the draft, a few days after. But yeah.
I was hoping we'd pick him up. Obviously, it wasn't meant to be. But it's nice to see him do well. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's doing excellent, and I wouldn't want to see him anywhere else but Toronto.
To NBA scouts or NBA teams, if you want a good scout, look no further than me, because I know good players when I see one.
And not me. Don't look at me. I said Kobe White would win Rookie of the Year. Well, talking about Houston being awful, you've put a Houston player in, Chris Clemens.
He's another rookie. Also went undrafted. He was high up on my list. Top 10 point guards in the draft. Yes, he's averaging 5 points per game, but basketball.
Better than Wezawandu.
Yeah, but he's a point guard. But Basketball Reference has him listed as a 5'9" shooting guard.
Also doesn't have a nickname, sadly.
But his Twitter is "I drop cold buckets." It's very true.
Yeah.
Because he averaged 30 points per game in college. In the NBA, if you go per 36 minutes, he's averaging 21 points, and he reminds me of Isaiah Thomas. A little guard who no one can guard.
Which one?
When he was good.
No.
The little one. The one who plays for... Who does he play for now? The Wizards.
Wizards, not the one that used to play for Detroit.
Oh, not that one.
Oh.
No, he's a nasty player.
Oh.
Isaiah Thomas, just a little lad who can score. And that's exactly who Chris Clemens is. And the Rockets, they've just managed to find someone who is going to be such a good player one day.
Well, pity they don't play him, and Houston and Russ break up all the shots that they do get.
Yeah, I wish he played for a team that actually plays basketball,
I would love it if Houston missed out on the playoffs.
That would be funny.
Imagine. Imagine.
Oh, if they get knocked out first round again, Russ, how many years in a row would that be for him?
5, 4, 4, 4, 4 or 5. I don't know, loads. We're making it to the finals this year. Dennis Schroeder's going to average 36 points per game.
No.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Can't wait. So, one more player on this list. And it's your mate, who I remember in an earlier episode, you referenced by saying the only quality he has is running.
Did I say that?
You did say that. You said his only quality is running. I mean, since that, he's been dropping
I didn't
buckets.
mean it. When did I say that?
It's Furkan Korkmaz. I
Yeah.
don't know when you said it, but it was a
Turkey
few
from
episodes
Turkey.
ago.
Maybe it's recency bias, but since Embiid has come out, he's had like more opportunity to shoot the ball, and he's making shots. So he's coming into games, and you look at Brooklyn, he made 3 against Chicago. He made 6 against the Knicks. He made 3 against the Nets. He made 3 again against the Raptors. He made 4, all consecutive games. He's scoring.
Or more than Harden did against OKC.
Yeah, I guess you could say Korkmaz is better than Harden.
I would say it.
Yeah.
More efficient.
You look at the points he's averaging over the last, 5 games, 15, 24, 17, 10 was a bad game. But that's a good game for Korkmaz, because that's still above his average.
How many threes did he average against OKC?
Where is OKC on you?
I don't know.
That's 1.
He put up 1 3 against OKC.
Yeah.
I mean, same as Harden.
In the other game, he also made 1.
So yeah, exactly the same as James Harden.
He made 2 overall.
I mean, we've played Houston 3 times in Houston.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Never mind.
But yeah, still underrated, because I don't feel like the casual NBA fan has no clue who he is, and he's slowly emerging as one of our most important bench pieces. Maybe that's just a sign we need a better player on the bench, but
Probably.
But he's had his opportunity, and he's finally taken it. It's taken a while, but he's finally taken it.
Yeah. So moving on from underrated players to disappointing players. So players this season that we thought could have done a lot better, and is kind of been playing like Wes Iwundu. Sorry, stop bringing up Wes. Nothing. He was really bad last night. So Miles Turner's the first player on this list.
Yeah. I just wonder how much longer he's gonna last on the Pacers, because this might be crazy to say, but Miles Turner has a similar skill set to Karl Anthony Towns, like a center who should be a good defender, but he's not a good defender. He can block. On offense, he can shoot threes. He can do a lot of things, but he just doesn't want to do it. So it's frustrating, because he can be such a good player, but he just doesn't show it.
And he's not really a player that they need when they have Sabonis.
And they don't fit well together.
Go to Badazzi.
Yeah.
So if they trade Turner and get Badazzi some minutes, it could be the rise of Goga.
Yeah, but Turner only averaging 12 points. It's so disappointing, because I think with Oladipo being out, there was an opportunity there for him to become their most important player, or one of their most important players, and it just hasn't happened.
No, yeah, you'd expect him to do more, especially when Sabonis is playing so well recently. He's really just like putting a big lamp over Turner's performances. The light's on him, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Nothing.
So another player you've put. I mean, I don't know if I agree with this one. You put I forgot his first name. Connolly.
Mike
Connolly.
Yeah, Mike Conley. But yeah,
he's been injured for a lot of this season.
But right from the start of the season, he didn't look like the Mike Conley from last year, averaging 20 points on amazing efficiency. Where this season, he just looks like a shell of his former self. Like, do you know when you see athletes who play in their mid-30s and they don't look the same? Do you know those type of players?
Cousins.
Yeah, like Cousins.
That was because of a big injury.
And it's just disappointing, because he was meant to put the Jazz over the top. Yeah, they've been a good team, but when he plays, they're worse.
They don't need him now. They got Jordan Clarkson.
But they're going to have to play him because he's getting paid so much money.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And I can't see any team wanting to trade for him now because of his awful performances.
Yeah, and the age and the contract. It's just getting to the point where he'll probably just stay here for a while, and then he'll turn into a player like, I don't know, an old player who just gets passed around like teams on small contracts for a few years and then just retire.
Yeah.
a sad end to what was a good career in Memphis for him. To be fair, I forgot he'd left Memphis. That's how disappointing he's been this season. I didn't really realise he played for Utah. I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't played for a while, to be fair, but...
Next player on this list is Dwayne Dedmon. I'm a big fan of Dwayne Dedmon and think he could be a great player. Like, where the Golden State had Zaza Pachulia as their centre on the 72 win season, Dedmon could do that. He could do a job like that for a contender. Like,
yeah, that's what I thought, because he had an amazing season last year with the Hawks.
He was good at the Spurs at the short time he was at there.
So when he went into free agency, all like the Sixers, for example, he would be the perfect backup centre, we thought. All the contenders were after him, but he took the money in Sacramento, and it just did not work out, and now he's playing in Portland.
Yeah, Dedmon is one of the players that in the off-season I would like to trade Adams for somebody like Hayward or Bradley Beal, and then get Dedmon in as our backup centre, because I've always been a big fan and I know he can do a job. And so it's sad to see him, and obviously got fined for publicly requesting a trade.
Yeah, he doesn't play in Portland at all. I thought.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why you said Portland
Ariza got traded.
Yeah,
Ariza.
Trevor.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they still want to trade him.
Ignore this guy who earlier said that he should be a scout in the NBA. Doesn't he? Dwayne
I don't know
Dedmon
anything.
plays for.
I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud.
You know who Legret's Dort was last year, but doesn't have a clue Dwayne Dedmon was.
I know.
Embarrassing.
But averaging 5 points and 20% shooting from 3. It's tragic, because he was meant to be one of the better shooting big men in the league. And when Rashawn Holmes is starting ahead of you, you know it's bad.
That's embarrassing. This is my one. Well, next on the list isn't necessarily... Well, the spotlight's on 2 players, but it's more of the team as a whole. And it's... this might sound bitter coming from me.
Yeah.
It's the Portland Trailblazers. Hopefully you can come in with some knowledge from someone that didn't get knocked out in the first round against them. But I was over that. The memes didn't hurt at all. Definitely didn't cry myself to sleep. But
I can't confirm
that. No, you don't sleep in the same bed as me. Or in the same house. So, last season, when they beat OKC in the playoffs, and everybody was raving about Dame, and then they got swept in the finals by Golden State, everybody was like, the Portland team are the best team ever. Dame and CJ are going to go crazy and they're going to finish in the 2nd seed next season. Wrong, they're not even in the playoffs, idiots. Nerds, can't even get that right. Like, I get things wrong, but that's big wrong. Like, everybody was saying, this is Dame's year now. Dame showed that he's a better leader than Russ. Russ just got OKC into the playoffs every year. He played with Carl Singer at power forward, averaged a triple-double and got us into the playoffs with nobody on our team. Dame's got good players in his team. Can't even get his team into the playoffs. He put up 61 points. Did anybody else get any points? Nothing. His team's a waste man, fam. Bunch of waste man.
Let it all out.
Team's a joke. I don't like Portland. I like Melo. I liked Melo at the Knicks, because he was a bit like a Kobe-like player, and I always liked Kobe. He was Kobe, but made less shots and was even more greedy, and that's mental coming from Kobe. Yeah.
But if you want a level perspective from myself, who's not a Portland hater, before the start of the season, when we'd gone through our predictions, I wrote this little bit about the Blazers. In my opinion, it's perfect. I said, well, they're missing Nurkic, which is the biggest thing. Whiteside is their starting centre, a big yikes. They got no more motivation, and they lost all their good players, minus CJ and Dame, where they lost all the important rotation players who really gave them their identity. Like Harkless is effort and defense gone. Aminu is effort and defense gone.
Who's Al-Farouq Aminu?
Who is Al-Farouq Aminu? Seth Curry, an elite shooter, gone. Nurkic for the season. Lehman, good shooter off the bench, gone. Evan Turner just can do anything apart from shoot, gone. They lost so much, so I don't get why people were so obsessed with them being one of the better teams in the league, because all the signs were there.
Because Dame waved at Russ, that's why they thought it. Because Dame was like, oh, what the... And PG was like, oh, that was a poor shot, and they were like, oh, Dame's the best player in the league. Shut up. He's not even good enough to clean Steph Curry's sneakers. I don't know what to call them. I was going to say boots. They don't wear boots.
They just don't have a good team though. Like, and I think now they've accepted the fact that they're not making the playoffs by trading Bazemore for Trevor Ariza just to save some money.
He's not really going to do much for them. But yeah, when you said that in the early season and said there was no motivation because obviously CJ and Dame got their big contracts and they had nothing to play for. And I disagree with you because I thought that they had that good last season and now they can kick on this season and prove to everybody that they can. Like where did I say that they would finish last? Oh god, that's big.
That's big. You said 45 wins.
Yeah, so I thought they'd get 45 wins and finish well into the playoffs. But I mean, how wrong was I? Some nights Dame puts up mental numbers like he did with the 61 and then nobody helps him. Other nights Dame doesn't turn up and Melo puts up 18 and nobody else bothers. I've not seen CJ drop a crazy night like he was last season all year.
But if you go back 2 years ago in the playoffs when they played the Jazz in the first round and they were embarrassed. I think they got swept. And all summer long it was, should the Blazers trade Dame, should they trade CJ? They're just not good enough, they'll never win. So that the next season they came in motivated. They wanted to prove people wrong, and they got the conference finals. Yeah, they got swept by the Warriors, but
swept by the Warriors' second team.
Yeah, but they got the conference finals.
Curry and Clay.
So I just feel like they exhausted all their effort on that one playoff run, and now this season, they've achieved their goal, and they just got nothing to play for really.
What do you think next season will be? That season where they have to prove something and they go hard.
It depends what they do in the off season, really.
Yeah, big disappointment, Portland. Well, I don't care since don't really care about him. Another player that you put on this list, Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, it's similar to Miles Turner in a way where he had the opportunity to average at least 20 points on a bad Bulls team, but he's not really making shots. He was meant to be an elite shooter. That was his calling card. Because honestly, that's the only thing he can do. All he can do is shoot. He can't defend, rebound, can't run, can't do anything
it's
apart
like
from shoot.
Porzingis.
Kind of, but at least Porzingis can sort of defend.
Yeah. He's a scuffed Porzingis.
Yeah. So he's only shooting 34% from 3, which is so bad for a player of his ability. People were calling him Baby Dick when he was in his rookie year. Like, that's not gonna. Well, at the moment, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. But yeah, he needs to just improve.
Yeah, I've got nothing to add about Markkanen. You'd expect him to every season just progress slightly and average more and more points on slightly better percentages, but he's kind of stagnated and declined. If
Maybe
anything.
That's just a product of being on the Bulls team where their coach is an idiot.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Another big old power forward who's rubbish, Blake Griffin.
Tragic.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad what's happened with him.
It's sad if you like Blake Griffin, but if you don't care about Blake Griffin, it's a bit of a meh. I mean, a player that jumped over a car once and now can barely jump at all. So it is sad in that way. When you watch him play now, it doesn't look like he could reach the rim.
Last season, you could say he almost had a career season. It was at least his best season that he had for a long time, and averaging almost 25 points per game, almost 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He was, it was it's rewind time. You rewound the clocks to his early days. He's even shooting 36% from 3, and he was leading this Detroit team, and people thought, if he can carry this through to this season, he can make the playoffs.
Well, they made the playoffs last year, didn't they?
He's been the complete opposite this season. 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 35% from the field, and 24 from 3. I don't get how someone can have that sharp of a decline, almost by 10 points per game. It's so how? It's just, I know he's going to be off for the rest of the season.
Yeah, rip Blake. Scuffs Blake Griffin, Aaron Gordon. I mean, I've mentioned it a few times, but OKC played Orlando last night, and it took me until half of the game to notice that Aaron Gordon was actually playing. He what's happened to him?
I wish I knew, because he was looking promising.
He's fallen off a cliff.
2 years ago, Orlando had an amazing start to the season. They were winning games, and people thought, have they arrived? Aaron Gordon was averaging so many points. He was shooting so well. And then he regressed to 17 points, which is still good for a 22-year-old at the time. And then last season went down to 16 points. And now this season down to 13 points on much worse efficiency. He can't even shoot threes anymore.
And even his athleticism, like he had one dunk against us. It was a good dunk. He dunked over Nerlens Noel, got quite high, but he just looks like his 3-point shot was always off. He didn't even look like he wanted to take the open shots, and like he was hardly on the ball. Like I said, I didn't notice him until like halfway through the second quarter. Like
yeah, if you go back to his best season, he was averaging 6 to 3-point attempts per game. Now this season he's down to 3.8. Why? Like, Orlando already have bad shooting. Like, they need Aaron Gordon to take shots and make shots, and he's just not doing that. And if he's not doing that, he doesn't fit on this team.
He shot 4 3-pointers last night, making 2.
That's not bad for him.
Yeah, but like he wasn't really in the. He played 34 minutes, and I didn't really see him play at all. I was one who got through at 6 points. I was wrong. I obviously missed him score. He didn't make another 3-pointer though. I mean, I was right about that. God, sorry. Fournier had 7 turnovers. Let that settle in. Let that sink in. 7 turnovers. Good player though. Big fan. Not on any of these lists though.
Just don't Google it.
No, don't Google Fournier. Rookie watch. We didn't discuss rookie watch last week because nothing happened and the rookies are boring and don't do anything. But neither did they this week. But Tyler Herro had a good night last night or 2 nights ago.
Broke the Heat record for threes in the game. And
had a career high of his own threes as well. Yeah, he's a weird one. He's playing well in fits and spurts, if that's a saying that anybody still uses.
Is that a saying?
That's a saying. Like he'll have a few games where he averages 6 points or 0 points, and then he'll have another game where he puts up 25. Like you're saying about him and Dragic being a great partnership off the bench. Yes, they are. But I feel like he just needs to, like early season, he was hitting some consistency. Jimmy Butler was like, give that man the ball. When he had that really clutch game, I don't remember who it was against, but he was hitting threes in the fourth quarter, and they won the game. Each needs to get that consistency back up, and just maintain it for like a season. I think we won't see that this season. Rookie, obviously, but in a few years, I feel like he'll be one of the better bench players in the league, or possibly even getting a starting spot on a roster somewhere.
He's only just turned 20 years old, so he's got time.
I'm older than him.
Which is mad.
Better 3-point shooter than him as well. It's not true.
No.
It's definitely not true.
But like, yeah, he goes through spells where he scores 20, then 18, 22, 19. And then he'll have the odd game off, but there's nothing drastic. He's such, for a rookie, his skill level is so advanced.
Yeah, we're big fans. I expect a good career.
I was always a big fan of him. It's nice to see him get the attention he deserves.
Yes. That's rookie watch. Rookies are pretty dull this season.
Ja Morant scored 2 points.
There you go. He's also like putting up like points and everything. A stat line which is like record highs for rookies. He's doing very well.
Well, just for this year, or
I don't remember.
Probably just
this year. Yeah. But he's doing generally. He's doing really well. Kendrick Nunn also playing well recently. I mean, we didn't at the beginning of the season when we were saying, "Do you think he'll keep her up?" We were like, "Probably not." But
I thought he'd regress down to about 13 points or 14. But he's maintained 16 points.
Yeah, and we said that when Jimmy Butler came back from injury, he'd probably fall out with the team a bit, but he's not.
On a crazy run.
Yeah, he's
14, 15, 10, 20, 33, 22, 18, 25, 14.
Could he keep it up for seasons to come, or is this just going to be like a one-season wonder for Kendrick?
I wouldn't bet against him.
Because it's not even like it's nothing negative about it, like overly negative about how he's playing.
When he played against us, he was the best player in the game from both teams. He was always a threat.
It's not hard to be better than any of the Philly players.
Yeah.
How many games you won this season?
2, maybe. I don't know. 29, I think.
Yeah, well, we've
More
won
than you.
We've won 26.
That sucks.
I mean, if you look at our team compared to your team.
We got a point guard who can't shoot, a centre who's fat, a 34-year-old power forward, a small forward who reads books. We were never going to win.
We've got a 6'4", 10-pound Terence Ferguson defending every team's best player. Well, not at the moment because he's injured. Team of the week is the same thing every week. We talk about 5 players, or a starting 5 of players that have played the best basketball in our opinions over the past week. We'll do what we... And for the first week in probably ever, we only have one player that's the same. We've gone for different teams. Maybe for bias, not really. We've only got one player from our own teams in there each. But my first player is Christopher Paul. Clutch Paul, CP3. Have they got... No, funny enough, Basketball Reference don't have Clutch Paul as a nickname. It definitely is his nickname.
Whoa, was that the skate instructor?
Yeah.
Oh.
Chris Paul is averaging 50 points. 50 points?
50 points?
Not that.
He's not hard.
He's averaging... What? He's averaging 50% in the clutch this season. And in the past 4 games, I mean, we've won 3. And... Great signing. I mean, the first game we lost to Miami, only put up 14 points, 6 assists. I mean, we'll let him off that one. But in our win against Portland, he put up 30 with 7 assists. In the win against Houston, he put up 28, including a 20-point second quarter, which was the most points he's ever scored in. It was his career high for points in a quarter. Very good player. And 19 points last night against Orlando. But in the games against Portland, Houston, and Orlando, his plus minuses were plus 20, plus 17, and plus 10. An important player, and especially in the clutch moments. And against Portland, didn't miss a free throw, 5 for 5.
I think he's proved a lot of people wrong this season.
I didn't think I would like him as much as I do.
Neither did I.
I
thought he was washed.
Yeah, I
season.
thought this is going to be a long, awful season. I'm going to hate Chris Paul, but it's been anything but that, and he's one of my favourite players.
Yeah. So, my point guard, no surprise, it was the NBA Player of the Week, Ben
Raul
Simmons.
Neto. Oh.
Whoa! Ben Simmons.
Oh, sorry.
With Embiid missing all these games, Ben has just taken this game to the next level. He's dragged us to victories against bad teams. Our win against Chicago, 20 points, 11 boards, 7 assists. Just your typical Ben Simmons game. No 3-point attempts. He hasn't attempted one in over a month, I think. But against the Knicks, 21, 7 and 8. Against the Nets, now this is one of the best games I've ever seen. 34 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists, 5 steals and 2 blocks.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Dominant.
That's what you expect Ben to be doing.
That's what I'm on about. Do you know when I said he has Giannis ability? This is what I mean.
That's a Giannis-like stat line.
He played centre at times during the game, and no one could guard him. He was so dominant.
Who's a better centre, Ben Simmons or Deontay Burton?
Ben Simmons.
Oh, okay. Did Ben Simmons out-rebound Clint Capella?
Probably.
Fair enough.
But then the Raptors, we don't have to talk about the Raptors game. He did almost get a triple-double, to be fair.
Almost. We can all almost get triple-doubles.
I can get triple-single.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, my second guard is Donovan Mitchell. I mean, probably gone a bit under the record of what he's done, but in the past 4 games, he is... Oh, no, sorry, 3 games. That game was last week. He's done 22 points, 25 points, and 23 points. And the plus-minuses... My team's all about plus-minuses. A plus 10, a plus 15, and a plus 24. And the 3 wins against Sacramento, Indiana, and Golden State, 2 bad teams in Indiana, but they won by 22, by 30, and by 33. So, I mean, they're a team in form, won 3 in a row, leading the league in like win streak, along with Golden State. Golden State. With OKC and the Spurs, but yeah. Just a flying team, doing very well. Well done, Donovan.
Yeah, my other god, honestly, is no surprise. Damian Lillard. When you make history, you have to be in Team of the Week. 61 points. Yeah, it was against the Warriors, but come on, 61 points and 11 3-point shots, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and he was a plus 13 on the plus minus.
Plus 13.
Plus 13.
He put up 61 points and it was plus 13.
They won by 5 and he was a plus 13.
You wouldn't get in my team. Wouldn't get in my team. So, not for me.
I know you have a vendetta against everything to do with Portland, but when you make history,
you
have to be rewarded.
What history?
The franchise record for points.
Oh, that's a bad franchise.
He broke his own record twice. He had 59 points.
He holds the other records. That's
points,
how bad their franchise is.
And those 61 points. So, I mean, yeah, it's just a fantastic game. He also put up 34 points against the Mavericks and 34 points against the Thunder. So just a good week.
But who won that game?
It doesn't matter.
Oklahoma City. So we both gone for the same forward, small forward.
The fun guy.
With
The fun guy.
Okay. Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah,
just an average Kawhi week. Didn't play all the games, obviously, because he's scared of back-to-backs. And, yeah, they won a few.
Just puts up points.
And he put up 30 points a couple of times. So
yeah, I think the best game he had this week was against the Pelicans. He put up 39 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, and 5 steals.
Very good
in a
record.
win. He was a -8.
I wouldn't get my team with it. Oh, he's in my team.
He's in your team.
Damn. I didn't check his plus
Fraud.
minuses. Yeah, but fair enough. My other forward, I went for John Collins. Now,
The druggie.
Druggy John, as we've called him on previous podcast titles. He's had a very good week. I mean, 18 points, 20 points, 17 points, and 33 points. Plus a plus minus of plus 24 on the 33-point game. But also rebounds. He got 16 rebounds in the 33-point game, 11 rebounds, 10 rebounds. I mean, just playing a lot better than he has been in his career. And it's been a really good week. He put up 27 and 34 in a week earlier this season, but he missed a lot of the season.
I wonder why.
He's put up 30. Yeah, why did he miss all those games? Interesting. He's put up 33 times this season, and I'm a big fan of John Collins, and it's great to see him playing good basketball.
And he did that without Trae Young.
Without Trae Young.
Yeah. My other forward is Giannis again. I'm pretty sure he's been in almost every single week. But yeah, when you put up 32 points, 17 boards, 7 assists, and 29, 12 and 4, 28, 14 and 10, you're going to guarantee him the week. That's just so good. Also, they're currently on a 7 game win streak. So the Bucks, they lost to the Spurs, but they are back, and they are probably the best team in the league.
Excellent. My centre, Rudy Gobert. I mean, we were speaking about Donovan Mitchell being a great player in the great little run they've had, and I mean, in the past 3 games, Rudy Gobert's done the same. 28 points, 15 rebounds, 20 points, 14 rebounds, 22 points, 15 rebounds, with a plus minus of plus 32, plus 24, and plus 31. Like I said, they played a bit of a easy run of games, but you still got to put the points up.
Yeah, my centre is LaMarcus Aldridge. Put up 30 points, 21, 19, and then 32. So for his standards, considering he's a declining player, you sort of roll back the clock, and he's having some solid performances, so he deserves it. Well done to him.
Well done to you, LaMarcus. One of the better Marcuses in the league. So player of the week in the NBA structure, the Adam Silver and the gang. I don't know if Adam Silver decides, but we'll say he does. They gave it to Ben Simmons and Kawhi. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I gave it to CP3 and John Collins.
Yikes.
What do you mean? What's wrong with that? They're both in my team. They're both in the thing. Clutch Paul and John Collins had a good week.
I went for the peacemaker, Ben Simmons, obviously. Such a good week. And then Dame Lillard for making history and breaking records.
But he's not as good in the clutch as CP3 is.
I mean, did you see the shot he hit in the playoffs last year?
Nope. I haven't seen it.
Did you see his game-tying shot against the Warriors?
I haven't seen it.
He's pretty good. Did you see his game win against the Rockets in the playoffs?
I'm talking about this season right now.
Okay.
He's not averaging 50% like CP3 is. Alright. That's that. That's this episode done. Wrapped up and done. Thanks for watching. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Soundcloud. That's the other one. We upload the clips of these episodes on YouTube now, so you don't have to listen to the whole hour of us talking, because we talk for ages. But, yeah. Bye-bye.